I never imagined I'd witness someone hauled off in handcuffs over a flashlight, but there I was, stranded in the Egyptian desert, watching local police drag Linda away as her screams about illegal surveillance and neighborhood regulations ricocheted off the dunes. The moonlight cast a surreal glow over the wreckage. She'd caused me half-eaten sandwich trampled in the sand, a toppled lantern, and camping gear strewn everywhere. Our tour group stood frozen, jaws dropped, as this woman turned my dream trip to see the pyramids into an international fiasco. Who could have guessed a vacation I'd saved years for would end with such a spectacle? It all kicked off 2 weeks earlier in Cairo, where our group of 12 first met. We were a mixed bunch, mostly retirees, a few solo travelers like me, and Linda, who made sure everyone knew her within minutes. Clutching a stack of business cards that read Linda Harper, President, Oakwood Estates Homeowners Association, she strutted into our first dinner like she owned the place. "I keep 322 homes in line back home," she bragged, her voice carrying over the clink of glasses. "Not one unapproved mailbox or tacky lawn gnome on my watch." Our guide, AMR, nodded politely, probably thinking this was just quirky American chatter. Oh, how wrong he was. The first few days weren't too bad. Linda griped about the hotel's water pressure, insisted on inspecting the tour bus for safety violations, and even corrected AMR's English pronunciation. Annoying, but I could dodge her and focus on the wonders I'd come for: the Great Pyramids, the Sphinx, the Egyptian Museum. These were bucket list moments, and I wasn't about to let some suburban tyrant ruin them. But Linda's antics got weirder the further we traveled. In Luxor, she started snapping photos of local vendors, muttering about international trade violations. When an elderly tourist, George, asked her to chill, she snapped, "Mind your business. Where you're going in my report." Things took a darker turn at the Valley of the Kings. I found a quiet spot to eat my turkey sandwich, soaking in the view of ancient tombs. Suddenly, Linda loomed over me, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Do you realize you're polluting a historical site with your poultry products?" she said, hands on hips, sunglasses perched on her nose despite the overcast sky. I glanced around at the endless desert. "I'm just eating lunch, Linda. I'm nowhere near the tombs." Her eyes narrowed. "Turkey particles can travel 50 feet in this heat. It's in the Oakwood Estates Handbook, Section 12, Paragraph 3, no poultry in shared spaces." She whipped out her phone. "I'm documenting this for the group report." Before I could argue, AMR called us back to the tour, and I stuffed my sandwich away, ignoring her glare. That night, things got wilder. Exhausted from sightseeing, I was drifting off in my hotel room when Linda's voice blasted through the hallway, accompanied by blaring pop music. I poked my head out to find her parked in the corridor, a portable radio cranked to 11, playing some diva anthem. Other tourists emerged bleary-eyed. "Linda, it's past 10, said a woman named Susan. "People are trying to sleep." Linda cranked the volume higher. "I'm drowning out that offensive noise from the restaurant," she said, while VYing toward faint Egyptian music drifting upstairs. "This is proper music. That racket violats noise ordinances." I couldn't help myself. "What ordinances?" "We're in Egypt, not Oakwood Estates." Her lips pursed. "Standards are universal. I filed 17 noise complaints back home and never lost." AMR eventually coaxed her to turn it off, but not before she vowed to add this to her report. By the next morning, the group was done with her. People avoided her on the bus, whispering to steer clear. AMR, ever the pro, tried to lift our spirits with a surprise: an overnight desert camp near a lesser-known pyramid complex, complete with stargazing and Bedouin hospitality. Most of us were thrilled, but Linda demanded to know if the camp was certified by American safety standards. AMR assured her it was legit, and she grudgingly went along. The camp was pure magic golden sand at sunset, cozy tents, and a feast cooked over open fires. After dinner, we gathered under a sky bursting with stars, and for one fleeting moment, even Linda seemed awestruck, gazing quietly upward. Then it all went to hell. A local guide, Mustafa, tapped his flashlight to fix a flickering battery. That tiny gesture set Linda off. She leapt up, pointing at the flashlight like it was a grenade. "That's not a flashlight," she shrieked. "It's a surveillance de vie, sir. He's recording us." Mustafa, a gentle older man, looked baffled. "Just flashlight, madam," he said, flicking it on and off. But Linda was unhinged. She snatched it from his hands, yelling, "I know spyware when I see it. I've caught kids with hidden cameras in Oakwood Estates." AMR stepped in, voice calm. "Linda, it's just for safety." She wasn't hearing it. Why was he pointing it at me? He's scanning me. She stumbled back, knocking over a lantern, and chaos erupted. Camels snorted in the distance as she waved the flashlight like Evy Denke in a courtroom. Then she pulled a walkie-talkie from her fanny pack. Yes, a walkie-talkie in the Egyptian desert. "This is President Harper," she barked into it. "Requesting immediate backup. For an infiltration at desert location." She spun around, clearly clueless about our coordinates. AMR signaled a staff member, who made a discreet call. Linda, now filming us with her phone, barricaded herself behind some cushions. "I'm documenting you all for the international report," she declared, zooming in on me. "Especially you, with your sandwich contamination. It's all connected." Our group exchanged looks. Was she losing it? 20 minutes later, headlights pierced the darkness. Local police, summoned by the camp, rolled up. Linda's reaction was pure theater. "You have no jurisdiction over me," she screamed as two officers approached. "I'm a federal property manager. I pay U.S. taxes. I have diplomatic immunity through the HOA Global Alliance." The officers, speaking decent English, tried to calm her, but she bolted, darting between tents, still clutching Mustafa's flashlight. "I need to secure the perimeter," she yelled, clambering onto a supply crate. When an officer gently grabbed her arm, she squawked into her walkie-talkie, code red, "Physical detainment." It was absurd, hilarious, and utterly gripping. The police, with saintly patience, cuffed her, explaining she was being detained for disturbing the peace and disrupting a licensed tour. As they led her to their jeep, her shouts about international treaties faded into the night. Our group stood in stunned silence, then George burst out laughing, and soon we were all doubled over, the tension of 2 weeks finally snapping. AMR assured us Linda would be treated fairly, but was headed to Cairo for processing, likely facing fines and deportation. Mustafa's flashlight, sadly, was smashed beyond repair. The rest of the trip was paradise without her. We bonded over stories and laughs under the stars, Mustafa joking about his spy gear with a new flashlight. Back in Cairo, we got the full scoop. Linda faced a Lot 2000 fine, a 5-year ban from Egypt, and an escort to her flight home. Better yet, someone had posted videos of her meltdown online, and they went viral. Her Oakwood Estates HOA board saw the footage and called an emergency meeting. By the time Linda landed in the U.S., she was facing a vote to oust her as president. "They can't do this," she reportedly screamed over the phone. "Isao amsao tewa." Even the Cairo police officer who overheard it called it the highlight of his week. Packing my bags, I couldn't stop grinning. Linda had spent years bullying her neighbors with petty rules, only to learn the hard way that real authority doesn't bend to her whims. Her power trip landed her in an Egyptian jail, cost her thousands, and was about to strip her of her precious title. Sometimes, justice flickers to life in the desert, sparked by a humble flashlight. So what do you think? Was Linda just a control freak pushed too far, or did she get exactly what she deserved? Should the tour group have stepped in sooner, or was watching her implode the ultimate payback? And what about that HOA and they serve VYVE without her iron fist? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're team justice, and subscribe for more wild travel tales.